Welcome to a walk down memory lane. Even though you all have gone on and done well in life, St. Paul's has continued to remain just the same in many ways. Why, even Darjeeling has seen some terrific changes. The town is now more congested, noisier and dustier than it was in your time here. Of course, the Grand Kanchenjunga remains as magnificent as ever. The sunrise still remains beautiful and inspirational, and the toy train still chugs uphill with great effort. But some of the old haunts remain just the same, save for a few minor cosmetic changes. Here you'll recognize Glenaries, the Planters Club, Kev's, the old Capitol Hall that has now been shut down, and the Rink Cinema doesn't exist anymore. It was pulled down and will now give way to a swanky shopping complex cum multiplex that is incidentally being promoted by an old Paulite. Let us now take a walk around the old school on the hill. Here we are at St. Paul's. The building you see as soon as you enter the main gate is the Cross Dormitory, named after Mr. Michael Cross, and this houses the boys of classes 7 and 8. Till a few years ago, the building housed the State Bank of India, but they have now moved on since then. And now we can see the site that supposedly recurs in the dreams of all old Paulites at some times in their lives after leaving school. Here is the old school with the majestic grandeur of the mountains in the background. The new building you see on the extreme left is the Millennium Complex that became operational in 2001. We'll take a closer look at it a little later. In the middle, of course, is the Prep Hall and Cotton Hall, and on the right is Milman Hall, which earlier used to be called simply the Senior Dome. This is the Goddard Pavilion, begun by Mr. Goddard and completed in 1964. It houses the music school on the top floor, a staff billiard room, and Blackies, of course, in the middle floor. And now, from 2005, a new parents' parlour has come into existence with the partitioning of the middle floor. On the ground floor, the boys play table tennis. In spite of what you may have heard or seen after the release of the film Maihuna, the quad remains a sacrosanct area. Boys, even today, are not allowed to walk on the grass or run around on the quad. This is Cotton Hall and the Prep Hall as seen from the quad. This is the Milman block with its senior dormitory and classes, and this is the main building housing Centenary Hall, the Lion dormitories, and the offices of the rector, the senior master, the bursar, the master's common room, and the school library. And then, of course, this is the dining hall and Westcott Hall. Incidentally, the entire flooring in the dining hall had to be changed, and along with it, the pantry and the kitchen were completely revamped 2 years ago at a whopping cost of Rs 33 lakhs. Moving away from the quad area, we can now see the rectory, which is arguably the oldest building in this town, and which at one time was occupied by William Campbell and Sir Joseph Hooker, who travelled to Darjeeling to establish this town. Attached to the rectory is the dormitory for the class 6s. By the way, this is supposedly one of the first Cryptomeria japonica trees that Hooker planted in town and is recognized as one of the oldest trees in these hills. Let us now walk down towards the chapel. The school chapel remains the central focus of the school and of the boys, past and present, and they all continue to draw immense strength from its radiance. Over the winter of 2003, we had to carry out extensive renovations, especially as the floor work was caving in, what with hundreds of pairs of feet walking over it since 1934. The school today boasts of a beautiful choir that is 80 strong and is reputed for its almost professional excellence all over eastern India. The choir has an excellent repertoire of anthems that it presents at special services and also at the Sunday matinal services. Next to the chapel stands the school gym. The boys use it mainly to play badminton, but complain endlessly about its low ceiling. This particular building is in bad shape and needs to be torn down to give way to a modern, well-equipped gym. Besides the gym stand the squash and the Eton Fives courts, which are visited regularly by the boys. You are now looking at the school chapel gardens. One of our big projects for the future is to start the second phase of the underground water conservation and harvesting project under this garden. The idea is to dig up about half the upper terrace from the bird bath to the edge of the cut side and install a 10 feet deep tank to store water for the exclusive use of the school. Given Darjeeling's chronic water crisis, this project would be a great service not only to the school